is for the actual bio. So tell us a little bit about the Vendettas and how long you guys have been together.
Yeah, well, we've basically, the band, the crux of the band's been together for about 15 years. But a lot of members have sort of come in and come out in that time. But Jared, the guitarist, and myself have been writing for about 10 years together.
Yep.
And yeah, man, we've released 2 full-length albums, and I think we did an EP as well. And this is the third, or the songs that we're doing off with John is part of the third album that we recorded. So we're down to 4 members now. So we've got drums, bass, guitar, and myself just up front doing vocals. So yeah, we've been around for a long time, mate.
Yeah.
Years anyway.
Yeah. I actually remember I worked on a TV show that I think you guys came in for once on Channel 31.
Oh, was that the Hard Rock show?
No, it was called, trying to think what it was called. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys came in because I'm pretty sure I ended up with an album off you guys at that time.
Oh,
so
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So tell us a little bit about how the relationship has happened between you guys and Rue Morgue Records.
Yeah. So we when we finished the album, I think it was late 2018, we released the other 2 albums independently. So we kind of wanted to do this one. We felt the songs had a little bit, possibly had a little bit more a commercial sound to them than the previous album. So we wanted to get some help from some labels and publishing and licensing and that kind of thing. So we sent it out to John, and yeah, I think he listened to it the next day and was emailing us back after listening to each song, sort of saying how much he liked it. So we knew that he kind of dug the vibe of the record. And then, yeah, he had a relationship with Golden Robot Records at the time, and he basically had passed it on to Mark there. And then, so we were interested. We were interested in doing the 7-inch single with him for one of the songs, and then he obviously wanted face to face for the compilation as well. And then he actually showed the whole album to Mark from Golden Robot, and they had interest in the album as well. So he's kind of been the guy that grabbed onto it and has run with it, and all the doors he's opened for us have been great. So we actually owe him a few beers, mate, to be honest.
You mentioned that there's a more commercial sound to these tracks. What do you think influenced that? Was it something in the songwriting, or where did that come about that these tracks sound a little bit more commercial? Yeah,
well, I guess when I say commercial, I mean there's probably a lot more space in between the instruments, because it's the first album that we've done with just 4 of us instead of having 5.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a 3-year break between writing the second album to this one. So we're definitely obviously listening to a lot of different kinds of music in that time, but I think we took a bit more time with the songwriting.
Yeah.
And you know, we filtered through what was working, what wasn't working, and we definitely adapted a less is more concept. And yeah, I think in the land of rock, you can be on the heavier side and you can be on the lighter side, and we kind of hit somewhere in the middle. And it was probably other people telling us, you know, our families and friends saying, "Oh, we could hear these songs on the radio." So we didn't really actually think we did anything that different, but obviously it has translated that way. So
yeah,
we thought we'd throw it up to some labels and see if they were interested, and luckily enough they were.
Yeah. So you mentioned before that you really wanted to do a 7-inch single with Rue Morgue. What is it about vinyl that made you want to have the Vendettas music on vinyl?
Well, we've always, I think we've got pretty large, or Jared's got a very large vinyl collection himself, but we're all into our vinyl, and and got the amplifiers and speakers and all that kind of stuff. So we've always invested our own money previously to get the second album on vinyl itself. So we'd never done a 7-inch before, so that was a new concept for us that John sort of presented with what he does with the label.
Yeah.
So that's it's also having something like that to sell at gigs. It looks cool, like the artwork really pops that we've used, and it was an extra sort of. It ended up becoming an extra way to promote the single that we did through Golden Robot.
Yep.
So we released it as a double A side, and then we've got the 7-inch to promote it, and then also the digital release, which was on the 2nd of March. So just gives it a little bit more. Having something. We only press 50 copies as well, so having something limited edition that we've almost sold out also makes us feel nice and important.
Yeah. So the track for the compilation, tell us a little bit about the track that you guys picked to go onto the compilation with John.
Sorry, mate, what was that?
The track on the compilation, tell us a little bit about what track that you've picked for the compilation with John.
Yeah, so we picked the first track on the album is called Face to Face, and I think that resonated with John early days because he reminded us that was the one song he wanted for the compilation many times before we even discussed it. It's a bit of a different song for us because previously we basically, the rock songs that we did were pretty much they were punchy straight from beginning to end, but this one's got a nice long intro that sort of builds over about a minute and a half before any of the vocals come in. And we like to open with the track as well, and you can feel the vibe of the rock, the vibe of that sort of, the guitar starts and then the bass line comes in underneath it, and then the drums start to build on the toms, and it's something that we've always thought you don't want to get ahead of yourself and feel like audiences will sit there for a minute and a half, but it actually works. And once we got that song through and decided that was going to go on the album, it sort of opened up a lot of boundaries for writing the rest of the songs where, we just, wherever the song went, we just went with it and didn't worry about trying to cut it to a 3-minute rock song, or, if the bridge was, 2 minutes, so be it, as long as it felt right at the end of the day.
Yeah. So how important are compilations like this to the local music scene?
I think they're very important. I think, people like John are very important to the scene in general because, promoting your band on your own these days is a tough thing to do. And, like I've been saying to a few people lately, there's definitely, I look at the Melbourne live music industry as two parts. So there's one which is the rock scene, and there's one where it's the rock family, and it's very important to build the family side of things. So, for instance, if John ever needs anything from us because of what he's done for us, we'll do it. No worries, right? And vice versa. And I think having bands on a compilation together, we already feel that sort of sense of family because we're all promoting the same thing, and we started to promote each other's shows and promote each other's singles, and that I think that's really important, especially when with things going the way they are. So
So to finish off, what would you like to say to people out there who are thinking about going out and grabbing the compilation?
Yeah, I think definitely do it. The artwork looks great. All the bands on there are absolutely killer. And, the fact that he's had to knock back a few bands and he's already midway doing number 2 is a credit to him. And, I think it's going to sound great. And, maybe we'll do another one when there's the 10th or 11th edition out there. But, I think it's going to be an awesome package. He's really put a lot of hard work and a lot of time into it. So, Yeah, go and get it.
Definitely. Well, mate, thank you so much for chatting to us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No worries, man.
So, and if there's anything else we can ever do for you guys, just let us know, and only too happy to share it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I might send you through the presser for the single that we did earlier this week.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure I'll flick it your way. It's got a download of the songs on there and everything. So
awesome. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, we can definitely share that out.
Awesome, man.
All right, mate.
Just because I tend to ramble, is there any way I can proofread what